Hi folks, and welcome to my first playthrough on the channel of Grand Tactician, The Civil War. For those of you unfamiliar with this game, it's like a mix between Hearts of Iron 4 meets Total War set in the American Civil War, of course, because you get to control the economy, you get the huge map of the United States, or the bit that's been fought over anyway, and of course you get to control the units in battle as well. It doesn't look as polished as any of those games, but it's one of the best Grand Tactical Civil War games we can play, and I love the American Civil War. I love the history of it. Love the music. Listen to it playing in the background. It's gorgeous. Anyway, we're playing through as the Confederates in this campaign. I'm using the AOM mod, which is supposed to make it more historically accurate, help the AI, because the AI is not that great in the vanilla game. And let's see what sort of experience we get out of this. And of course, I've put about 30 of you guys and myself as generals in the actual game, as requested. So you're going to follow their careers, their highs, their lows. We'll see how many of us make it out alive at the other side, of course, because bad things can happen in this. And you'll see them spread throughout the forces of the Confederacy. So today we're going to jump in. We're going to fight the Battle of First Manassas, is where this mod starts. And then we're going to be able to put our own strategy into place and see if we can win the war and win our independence and states' rights. So, start of the game. We are playing a new campaign set at very hard difficulty and mediocre aggressiveness for the Union, which is what the mod recommends. So we'll see how this plays out. You can choose your starting policies. These are 3 government policies that you can change how the game starts. We're just going with the basic ones and the historical ones. Alliance with the natives, which the Confederate did have. You'll see some Native American forces fighting for the Confederacy. King Cotton. Confederates used their cotton, and they're hoping their European reliance on Confederate cotton would sway European opinion and bring them into the war. Didn't work, but that's the policy we're going with. And the Old Dominion, where Virginia secedes and becomes effectively the leading state of the Confederacy throughout the war. Other than that, there are various game options we can put on. Order delays make it realistic. You order a unit, there's a delay while a rider rides out to that, delivers the order, and the commander gets to put that order into action. We're turning that off because, whilst I do like the realism aspect of it, it makes the units do funny things and they do not use initiative. So if you order an artillery unit to move forward marching down a road and it comes across a roadblock of an enemy infantry brigade, it'll march right on into it because the order to stop and pull back or shoot doesn't get there. There's no commander well, there is commander initiative, but it doesn't seem to work like that. So that's turned off. Fog of war, obviously, because we don't want to see where the enemy are. That would make it far too easy, and I think the same applies to the AI. Readiness system means that armies can't march all the time. They have to prepare, gather supplies, rest the troops. Marching through bad weather and enemy terrain makes them a little bit disorganized. Like that, historical again. Feuds, this is an interesting one. The American Civil War is notorious for officers falling out with each other on the same side, refusing to obey orders because they don't like their commanding officer. And we're not talking like men in the ranks. We're talking about generals, brigadier generals, major generals falling out with the guys under them and just refusing, and sometimes even fighting duels over things. So that's it. That's going to be interesting. Let's see how many of you guys actually have feuds with your commanding officers and how I deal with them. That'll be a cool one to see. And there's an auto manage for the economy, which we are turning off so we can do some, but we'll enable some auto managing because it's complicated. It's complicated. Anyway, let's jump in and watch the intro, and we'll get going and fight the battle.
Chapter 2: The Demon of War. The election of Abraham Lincoln, an anti-slavery Republican, as the 16th President of the United States was the last straw, triggering secession. One by one, Southern slave states declared secession from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America, led by President Jefferson Davis. This secession ignited the inevitable escalation, with fruitless efforts to still find a political compromise falling on deaf ears. Advocates of armed insurrection and fire eaters roam the states with steel in their eyes, and the public is aroused to volunteer, to fill the ranks, to quell the rebellion, and to preserve the Union or to secure independence from it. Following open hostilities, President Lincoln's militia call for 75,000 volunteers for 3 months' service, sparks incredulous protest and loud outcry among the southern states. And these sparks set on fire the irreversible. More states secede. Now it's war. 75,000, 100,000, and even more. Soon, the largest armies seen on American soil muster, drill, and prepare for war. A war that is to be neat, short, and limited. The whole matter would be settled by Christmas. But a dark shadow would loom over the growing and inexperienced armies. Without a swift and decisive blow from the very offset of the war, there's every chance of a long, confused, and disorganizing civil war, and even foreign powers may feel a desire to take a hand therein. The time is ticking for the newborn Confederacy. The Union must act. The demon of war has awakened.
And here we are, folks, as we load into the campaign proper. Now, the way this AOM mod works is that it is set up to fight a battle in Northern Virginia right at the start. So we are in July of 61. The reason it does this, because you can start the base game way earlier, is that the AI completely messes itself up with policies and recruitment and maneuvers if you start the game early. It's not great. So it's deliberately set up to start with a massive battle in Virginia, which we're going to jump in. You're going to see the armies. There's two Confederate armies come together to meet one Union army. We're going to fight that almost straight away. But first, there's a little bit of housekeeping that we have to do. You can see some of our armies and actually some of our fleets that are around. The Confederate fleets are, yeah, they leave a lot to be desired. We generally don't have any great warships, but we'll look at what we can do with those. We have troops back at Richmond. They're in a position of training and forming up. We can see that not all the forces are gathered. Some of these brigades will take a little while to arrive and be formed. So when you recruit troops, they don't instantly appear on the map, which is quite historical. They have to travel from whichever state they've been recruited from. You'll also notice the little red circle down by the bottom right of the units. You can see it in our list of armies down here. Well, it's red if they're not ready for action. It's green if they are, and yellow if they're approaching there. Readiness is an important thing, as moving and marching about and fighting reduces readiness, and you don't want it sort of too low, otherwise the units don't perform well in battle. Over in the west, we have some forces in Missouri that are ready to go in. So at the moment, they're in two separate forces. It would be better if they were all under one commander, but as the game starts like this, I'm just going to order the guys in, and they can do their own thing, and we'll sort it out from there. We're going to actually have a small invasion of Missouri. The general plan for the Confederacy, I think, in reality, their best bet for victory would have been to attack Washington early on and take it before there's too many Union troops. And the longer the war went on, the greater the Union's advantage in industry, trade, and manpower would tell. But the idea of the Confederacy was they just wanted to be left alone. That was their mantra, and so they were going to try and just defend and just make the Union pay such a dear price for forcing them back into the fold that eventually the people of the North would just lose the will to fight. That was the idea. Didn't work. So we can try and do the same, or we can try and go for a knockout. But what we want to do is control the border states where there is mixed support. So like Missouri, there's support for both the Union and the Confederacy. We want to try and control it. We want to be able to take its resources and also deny them to the enemy. That is our best bet. Same for Kentucky, which tried to stay neutral at the start of the war. It didn't declare for either side. So both sides built up troops, just waiting for an excuse to go in on the grounds that they were protecting the state from the other side. And I think the Confederates went in first. So they didn't manage to hold Kentucky. But we might try that. And of course, we've got West Virginia over here, which isn't a separate state at this time. It was part of Virginia. But generally, the population remained loyal to the Union. And so it will become West Virginia and break away from good old regular Virginia. Anyway, other than that, we have some policies to choose. Now, this is a bit like a focus tree in Hearts of Iron. We have to decide some stuff. You start with one or two things selected. But what we want is the Militia Act. And we want Volume 2 of the Militia Act, which will take 40 days, nearly 40 days to put in. Let's click on that. And this will allow us to recruit units where the service length is up to 2 years. And I'll tell you why that's important. If we go and click on a unit here, it's force in West Virginia here, you'll see that this particular brigade, they're volunteers. Yeah, we don't have drafts yet. We don't have conscription. That's something that can come later if we need it. Contract is 12 months, and they've got 9 months left on. So basically, troops at the start of the war would sign up. Initially, it was 3 months for the North. But what happens at the end of that? The soldiers are within their rights to go home. And when that time span runs out, some of the unit will go home, some will re-sign on. Some may become available to be recruited again as volunteers in the state. But basically, we need those terms of service lengths increasing. So we're going to do that. There's also projects we can put in. Now, these are based on government subsidies. The more money you put into a particular area of subsidy, economy, industry, agriculture, etc., the sooner it'll end up researching effectively, if you like. We spend money to unlock these things. So at the moment, we want British rifles. Ooh, that would allow us to import British Enfield rifles, which would be great. It's a big one to get. Austrian rifles, that would be the Lorenz, which I think was a pretty decent gun. But if we do this, we can actually already research cavalry carbines and cast artillery. The cavalry weapons you start the game with are terrible. So we're going to actually go do both of those. And that's going to allow us to order new weapons when we want to. And we'll have to figure out where we do that, because it's been a while and I can't remember where we do it. I'll figure it out. But anyway, the most important thing we're going to do today is fight the Battle of First Manassas. So let's click the time. You're going to see, whoop, newspapers come in. Yeah, that's it. Virginia has divided. West Virginia has broken away. Union troops were pretty much victorious there at the start of the war. So we see a big fight kicking off here. If we click on these guys, yep, we're going to jump in and fight the battle. Okay, so it's a little bit different to games you may have seen before. We start off with this headquarters report where you can look through the overall strengths of the enemy, if you like. I've honestly never found this terribly useful, but it's there if you want to play with it. We want to just come out of HQ mode and we want to go and have a look. So we're fighting the Battle of First Manassas, as the Confederates called it, or Bull Run, as the North called it. And that was generally fought over this area. Henry Hill. Initially, where's Robinson Hill? I'm sure there was... or Matthews Hill, sorry, and Henry House Hill. So the decisive part of the battle was fought over here. However, for some reason, the game has decided... This doesn't, by the way, follow the... You can fight historical battles in this game, but it doesn't follow the exact path, because this is a campaign where we control stuff on the map. It just gives us a battle map to fight over. And the game has decided for this fight, the critical points to hold are going to be the road to McLean and the New Market and Sudley Road. So we need to make sure we protect those. We think... there we go. So the North is coming on. We have some information coming on up here. And this little arrow here indicates they're coming on from Centerville. So it's possible they could march straight in and then south, or they could just choose to come straight south. There is a road. Units will generally march down roads in this game because it's quicker movement. So if you're looking for defensive positions to take up, it wants to be blocking a road. We've got reinforcements coming in over here. Let's go and take a look at these. And at the moment, it's going to be easier to move or deploy the entire army, but we can only deploy into anywhere like this. So let's actually put them in there. I want them to get them joined up, so we want them on the road, and we don't want them fighting up there alone. So I'll get the armies deployed, and then we will join the battle as it begins. Okay, here we go. We've got pretty much set up. We're going to hold this bottom corner of the map. We can see the divisions we've got. Now, actually, at the start of the game, I've reorganized this a bit because the units are just clumped in the army as loose brigades. That unit there is a brigade, as is Julian's brigade, just there. And they're all under the command of the overall army commander, which makes trying to position things an absolute nightmare. So I've organized them into divisions. Division commander will usually control 2 or 3 brigades, and this allows me to give orders to the division commanders and line things up a whole lot easier, like this cavalry division that we've got lurking down here under Brigadier General Joseph Wheeler. We've got William C. Wickham and Jimmy Clown Shoes. Love the name, by the way. Yes, you will see you chaps in here where I've put them. Let's see if we can find some more. There's Julian's brigade. I do know there's more. We've got them lurking all over. You will turn up. So our army up in the north, which is quite a long way away, we're going to get these guys marching because we do not want to get them stuck up here. So we select the army commander. This is Joseph E. Johnson. And actually, we've got a long way to go. So we're going to bring these guys in and we're going to support this flank round about there like that. So let's bring them in. We'll get them going. We don't have order delays in effect. Reason because that can cause all sorts of strange issues. And let's just get 5 times speed going. We'll see these guys marching out. Ooh, that is Jeb Stewart's cavalry. The elite. I should see some more of you guys in here somewhere. Can't remember where I put you. I've spread you out all across the various Confederate armies. And the reason for that is that if we have an absolutely devastatingly tragic battle, then this means that, we won't lose all of you all at once, which I think is quite important. Why are you guys... Okay, there's something not quite right there. I want you to form a line. Get across there. We've got the artillery holding the centre. We do not know where the enemy are likely to come from. I have no reserves, by the way. We've just formed a big line with this. We've got cavalry on the flank. What we could do is we could move these guys forward. Let's move them in there and get some scouting going on. So the artillery pretty much holding the centre. Do you know what? I think I'm going to reposition. This looks like a better position over here. Cancel that order. Maybe like that. Yeah, spread them out a little bit. So early war, our artillery batteries are relatively small. So we can form them into bigger batteries later as the game develops. Let's get you guys pushed more onto that slope up there. You can see the areas actually that they cover from there. There's a bit of a blind spot. It'll sort itself out, don't worry. We don't have any artillery on this side. There's the victory point. We've formed a solid line, a fairly solid line here. There's no protection for the guys. I think if troops remain stationary long enough, they do actually start to dig in, but I'm not sure if that's something that we have to research later. I can't remember. There is a mechanic for that. It might only come from later on. Or it might come, I think actually, that comes from one of the unit perks. As they gain experience, they'll be able to assign perks here. I don't know if we have any experienced or quality troops that start with that. There is one. Light infantry zouaves with the... Oh, are these Wheat's Louisiana Tigers? They are the first Louisiana Tigers. So units will build up perks, and generals, which can be assigned to any unit. They can be promoted. They can work for any branch of the army. They will also pick up extra skills and bonuses, as we'll see as we go along. So I'm running on 5 times speed. That's what the mod makers recommend. Not just for the battle, I think, but certainly for the actual strategic campaign. Don't go any faster than that. We might go a bit faster than that. So what you'll likely see, folks, is a lot of editing cuts where nothing is happening and we just jump forward to the action when we spot something. There we go. The fighting has opened. I have no idea what we've just seen, but there is something out there. It looks like enemy artillery attempting to come forward. So what we do is we send out the skirmishers, which I should probably have had set already because that would likely give us some better vision over what's coming. Frangus's brigade there, send them forwards. The cavalry is scouted up to this edge, but we have not seen anything else. Now, the Union is not guaranteed. Oh, well, there's some coming marching down this road. In the actual battle, I think they made a... I'm not sure where it was, but they attempt to go across the stone bridge here. This was a feint, if you like, and the main force came down, I think, from this area and tried to outflank the rebel line. So our guys are coming in now, the other forces, the Army of the Shenandoah, which was supposed to be tied up in the Shenandoah Valley by another Union force. That was under, I'm going to say Patterson. He failed in his job, and General Joseph E. Johnson managed to slip his army away to come and join the main rebel force here. And that was what actually tipped the scales in favour of the Confederacy. McDowell thought he was advancing on an outnumbered enemy. Turns out it wasn't the case. So the guns are opening up and the enemy are making a push forward. And this is an opportunity to go and get that artillery nailed. We're going to try and play this at 5 times speed. I like the air burst effects. I think they're good. Drive them off, fellas. I do not know. There's something with the fog of war settings where suddenly things just disappear. Let's move these forward. We need to see what's going on. I don't think we've destroyed them. No, there we go. Break them, boys. Good stuff. But we do not want to sit there facing a whole brigade coming down there, so we're going to pull back. Meanwhile, the cavalry, which I think is hidden in here, it's going to watch for an opportunity to get involved. Okay, looking at what's coming, I'm tempted to swing this line out across like this. No, let's cancel that one. It sometimes takes a bit of positioning to get where you want your guys. Let's try about there. That flank is secure, so we're going to swing these guys out so they can come and support this flank if need be. And we still don't know where the bulk of the enemy army is. It looks like it's coming down this road. The artillery's pretty damn sure it's coming down this road. There's some more artillery turned up there. Can we go forward and snipe it away? Oh, enemy skirmishers coming out to play now. Let's leave a skirmish line forwards. These guys don't have a lot of morale. Look at that. I guess that's because they're skirmishers, right? The brigades they come from. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. They're far more likely to fall back. Ooh, okay, not good, not good, not good. Let's pull the cavalry back out of here. We do not want to face an infantry brigade with horsemen. These aren't the Napoleonic times. This won't work so good. We just get the guys pulled back. So we can see what's coming now. And I'm gonna reposition this again because I do not like where we've got to actually. Let's pull back. Hang on. Cancel that order. Yeah, I kind of balls this up. It's okay. We just don't want to be outflanked. The units will try and align to the terrain as best they can. Okay, we can definitely see the main fight coming in there. Who've we got? Can we go and just form a line behind that creek? Let's move up like that. And then we've got these guys over here. Just a minute. Let's put this on to normal speed while we play through this. Where's my... Who have we got over here? We can't... There we go. So I can put the whole army. That's in the position. That's maneuvering. So I either come to support, which isn't a bad idea. We need to hold this bit. Okay, let's get the whole army in behind on this side. We're going to get a nice strong flank, but we'll bring the artillery up. Who's the artillery commander here? Because those guys could do with... not you. You? Guns, 16. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring the artillery, and this looks like a reasonably good position up there. Let's maybe a bit further forward if we're going to hold that creek line. Okay, so what's happening here? Yeah, let's call the skirmishers back. There's no... I don't want them out facing that. That's not good. There's no point taking casualties for nothing. This looks like a really bad position. I'm just going to just... Those are skirmishers. Okay. However, hang on. The guys are using some of their own initiative to try and take a position over there, but I don't think it's particularly advised. There should be three. Yeah, there's 3 brigades in this. This looks messed up. What I will say is that AI commanders or division commanders will attempt to use their initiative to take up better positions in the field. So what we've got over here is an interesting situation. Right, so the enemy are coming down here. There's no sign of anyone anywhere else. We should have some cavalry over here from the Valley Army. Can we see where those guys are? Did they go off ahead? We've got some horse artillery. Okay, horse artillery is not going to be wanted down there. I don't know what these guys are doing. Whoever is in charge of that brigade needs a telling off, because that's not working properly. Let's just put the horse artillery in the middle. Okay, so they're moving, but also I'm leaving a huge gap. That's not how it's supposed to work. Come on. Come on, cancel. Okay, form up like that. We need to maintain the line. That's the most important thing we can do here. I'm gonna order these guys in individually, because I wonder if it's just a case of our chap's not doing very well. Okay, there's more troops coming in there. Not too far, not too far. We'll make a bit of a show. We've got men coming in from this side. Let's speed this up again. Greg's division, 4,000 men. They're going to form up in reserve. Here we go. We've got an attack coming in here. This is what we want to see. We're going to play it in 2 times speed. Come on, fellas. Oh, you need to advance to attack here. The reason being that some of our chaps are armed with terrible old weapons. Attack, 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 attack. This line needs to be formed up. They're skirmishers. I think we are forming. It's a bit untidy. Big Union column coming in over there. Let's form up behind that creek bed. That should give us a bit of protection. We can see that Julian's brigade are a little nervous here. Can I give the order to fall back? We can go move at a time, move, fall back. Not turn around. That's not what we wanted. Okay, we need to now plug that gap, because this has suddenly got a little bit desperate over here. The 1st Virginia Cavalry. Let's get you out on a flank somewhere. Has the battle been joined over here? It has. And skirmishers are fighting. The enemy appears to have fallen back, which is great news. Let's just get these guys back into line. Put out some skirmishers. We have a mistake here. Let's make sure we're attacking those guys. The artillery's doing fine. Okay, so Julian's brigade will recover. It's not unusual for troops in this early stage of the war to run. What the shit is going on here? Dismount. Loose order. Our cavalry's been caught. It looks like it's Jimmy Clown Shoes who's on the receiving end of this. The US cavalry is also in a bad condition, though. And is falling back. See if we can get some flanking fire onto the infantry brigade up there. I mean, oh, these guys are armed with the Merrill carbine. Okay, that's maybe not so bad. These guys are armed with mixed cavalry weapons, which is a combination of all sorts of shit that people have brought from home that they just had lying around. It's not the way to fight. Right, I think we need to push Elsie's brigade into that. Oh, actually, Yorkie's brigade. That's bigger. Let's get those guys in there. And what I would do is I would put these guys on the flank. Let's get people going in. And we need cavalry just to spot. Vision in this game is kind of a key important thing. This is a big fight going forward. If we've got nice flanking fire going in, then these guys should suffer for it. This is a confusing mess over here. We need to advance the combat, because I fear you're armed with the smoothbore musket. Yeah, that's not going to go well. On this side, Colonel Wickham's men are doing a good job, and these guys are looking very, very shaky. Keep it up, boys. Let's move the commander in there a little bit. Okay, it's going okay. When units start wobbling like that, that's a risk. Do we have someone we could throw in? We do. We can put... Hang on. We want Yorkie's brigade. They're going back. They're going back. Let's get Elsie's brigade. And let's just line them up. We can put artillery in the front rank. It's generally not advisable at this stage. But, I mean, it can be... The canister fire can be absolutely devastating. Let's get these brigades coming round in a flanking manoeuvre here. Alright, so the thing is moving towards our side. This is looking very, very promising. Colonel William T. Wofford with his cavalry. Let's go and see what the opportunities are. Oh, I see something over there. I'm going to see if we can charge those. Meanwhile, we'll just keep Longstreet moving up with his men. Generally, the Union attack seems to be petering out a little bit here, which is excellent. Right, you guys, mount up. And let's go and see if we can... let's go and see if we can get that artillery battery coming into the woods. I don't know why artillery is coming into the woods. It's generally not a good place for artillery to be. Ewell's brigade. We've got Elsie's brigade. Okay, we need to then march along and form this line up here. There's still more. Come on, let's see. There's something over here. Let's see. Charge. Give them the order for cold steel. And charge. Cold steel means they won't stop to shoot, or they won't try and engage using carbines. I want to see this. Why artillery is moving through the woods? I do not know. Maybe they've had a confusing order. We can't quite see what's going on, but that should be successful. Now, if our cavalry runs away from that, then there's something wrong with the game mechanics, in my opinion. But that's good. So far, so good. Excellent. Excellent. This guy's... Okay, that unit is not willing to come back to fight. That's fine. Reposition. Reform the lines. Who have we got over here? We've got Yorkie's brigade. Okay, let's put these guys in. Meanwhile, over on this flank, those have run. Our guys, they've pulled back panicked, but I think it's more a case of they're exhausted. So Wheeler's division now. Oh God, Wheeler's division. That's going to be really bad. This is going to be bad because I feel like this is one thing that the game doesn't handle very well. It's panicking troops. They are panicking, but they've just ran through a Union brigade on the way to get to the commander who's rallying them at the back. That's not great. That's not great. They'll be fine. Those guys will come back. It will be okay. Have we got... Okay, the 1st Virginia, I sent them after some artillery over here, but they can't see it. And I think it's just over the hill, is it? Has it pulled... It's probably pulled back, actually. Right, pull back to that flank. Do we want to go a general advance? I don't think we do. Right, get back on 5 times speed. We want to leave it up for the Yankees to come and attack us. You guys have got the range. Okay, Frangus's brigade have got the range for this. In that position, I would say we should probably... Oh, hang on, there's some skirmishes there. Okay, that flank is looking a little open, but it's not too bad. What we're going to do is bring in Yorkie's men like this. They're armed with the Springfield 1855/61 rifled musket. They should be quite good. And at the same time, we're going to advance. As soon as these guys open up in this lovely flanking position, Elsie's brigade's just gone. I think it's because they weren't returning fire. Okay, there's an attack coming in here. Let's get 2 units on this. Could do with something to plug this gap, I think. Not quite like how this is turning out. Okay, we've broken one. Let me just put it down to 2 times speed so that we can deal with the situation that appears to be developing as we pull back a little bit to tidy the lines up and let the enemy come to us. That's always the best idea. So the way victories are calculated, victory points do matter. So holding victory points is important. But also, do we have spare troops back here? Oh, we have a whole brigade back here. Who have we got? We have Greg's brigade. Okay, I'm going to put Greg's brigade over here as some sort of reserve, because this is where the fighting is definitely at its thickest. And we've got guys who need to... you need to pull back. We can give the order there to... I'm going to give the order to retreat, because that should get them out of there a lot faster. Okay, we're looking a little bit vulnerable on this flank, to be quite honest, so I'm going to pull back. Again, retreat. Who is that in there? Colonel A. JSB Lilleback. Yeah, let's get the guys out, because... do I have any reserves back there? I don't. I have a load of units here that kind of need to... Okay, they're routed. Exhausted. Attack coming through the centre. Wait, there's artillery coming as well. Oh, I'm just going to hold the line, I think. Big attack coming in here. We have nothing behind it, but... oh, hang on. There should be... let's try and get some of these units out so we can see what's going on. Units should return. Oh, God. Our guys are going forward. It's a charge. It's not supposed to be a charge. But we can't hold the Yorkies back. Morale unstable. What does that mean? Gilles in contact. Where? Little note from one of our commanders. Yeah, this brigade is likely to fall back, I would say, pretty quickly. Who is that coming? Oh, some Union troops, but in grey uniforms. That was a thing at this battle. That was definitely a thing. Both sides had instances where the other guys were using the same uniforms, and it caused all sorts of major confusion. 2nd Virginia. Can we just get the guys out there? I think they're rallies. The Yorkies are falling back there. The Stonewall Brigade. No, you don't need to... no, wait. Where are you going? You weren't ordered to go like that. No. Hang on. That's the wrong road. I see what you're thinking, but that is the wrong road. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, we can't actually get engaged here, so I'm going to pull back again. Order a retreat. It's okay, we're going to put some troops in there to plug that gap. And let's get cavalry out on this flank. Jimmy Clown Shoes is back. Let's get both guys out there, actually. Actually, is that your... that's Joseph Wheeler. Can we get his men on the flank? Yes, we can. Let's move them like a division. Let's also plug the gap over here if we can. Yeah, we're just being outflanked here. We're not outflanked. Outranged. If we can just pull... we'll pull back into the... retreat back. I just want to get the guys falling back. Just pull the enemy too far forward. Turn to face. Over on this side, things are looking fine because that flank is solid. Oh, hang on. The artillery's way too far back now. Let's bring these guys in. Do we have a nice hill we can put them on? This one looks appropriate. Here we go. Oh, the enemy have ordered a charge. That's kind of what we wanted. Charge! You guys charge. Your turn. Go in. Give him a volley. Will it do that? I wonder if my... No, my headquarters commander is right there. Get him back off the line. Well, he refused to go in for reasons we don't know. That's fine, though. There's another attack coming in on this side. It's good when the enemy trying to attack piecemeal like this. This is supposed to be a chaotic and not very well coordinated battle, so don't worry, it's playing out exactly as it did historically. I keep thinking these guys are ours because of the grey uniforms. Okay, let me see if I can just get over here, because I want to get some vision on what the enemy's up to. Let's make a bit of space over there. And get Julian's brigade, who are now ready to fight again, back into the line here. What we need to do is get everyone with some proper muskets. Okay, we have Bartow's brigade. Excellent. Or Bartow's brigade. Let's bring them over this side. There's an artillery battery. The Lynchburg artillery. Let's get them up into position if we can. It looks like we might be facing another attack over here. These are long battles. What's going on over this side? They're lying down. I feel like I could probably outflank this. There's a lot of artillery over there. Let them come in. The cavalry's coming in. Jackson's men should see them off. That's quite brutal. What's this? Wheat is low on ammunition. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get back. See what I mean about the AI doing funny things, and that's why we don't have order delays turned on. So I'd ordered the division commander, or the unit commander, it's not quite correct to call it an artillery division, to move down here. But we are taking some serious fire from something. It must be enemy artillery. Yeah, we are. We're taking some serious fire. Let's pull back. You're not doing so bad over there, but it must be enemy artillery trying to snipe me out. Hang on, we're getting blasted here. Let's bring the cavalry up a little bit. Move that brigade further in. Big oof. At what point do I try a general advance? Those guys are going back. Excellent. There's still some quite dangerous forces over there. They are slightly broken. Let's move up on the flank. What have we got? Julian's men they've seen some serious fighting. There's another Union attack coming in. Let's put this on 5 times speed. Not all the battles will be as big as this, by the way, folks, during the campaign. Right, we are going to advance. I want rid of those guys there. It might be the case that our chaps outrange the enemy this time. We can't see them. Well, I mean, various little hollers in the ground could cause that. That's not too unusual, I guess. But these guys are just blasting it out at point-blank range now. Which I don't think was supposed to happen. That wasn't the plan. Can we deploy skirmishers here to go and shoot at the enemy artillery? Let's see if we can break some artillery batteries on this side. That would be amazing if we could. I think we can do a general advance on some of this. There's a big fight. Ooh, there's a big fight coming in here. Here they come. Here they come. advance them into position, bring up some reserves. I need to just drop back to 2 times speed to give some orders to this. See, the enemy have lots of reserves, and I don't feel like I can go after the artillery. However, what I do feel like I can do is that. Semi-broken unit over there. We're blasting that to pieces. Let's get into some cover over there. The skirmishers. Alright, this has been some good stuff. We're now shooting the shit out of enemy artillery batteries in the middle. Yeah, the cavalry engaged and then pulled straight back. Cavalry, I mean, it's not a totally unrealistic thing. The cavalry would pull back to, they would be blown from a charge and they would pull back to sort of reform. At least this is how it worked in the Napoleonic times. But they wouldn't just pull back straight through our own guys like that. That would be ridiculous. Alright, the battle has swung drastically in my favour. Let's go spot the enemy. Who's this? Wheeler's demoralised. Okay, that's the cavalry. Let's make sure we're pushing this here. We've nearly destroyed the enemy cavalry. That's brutal. The enemy is retreating. Excellent. This is our opportunity to try and get some serious damage on here. In fact, we can charge. We can't really charge. Oh, hang on. There should be some cavalry over here. This is when we use the cavalry. We just need to be aware that the enemy can turn around and blat us in the face. But this looks like... Yeah, this is another bug with the game. There's quite often this happens. Can I order a charge there, by the way? Looks like I can. And that unit just sits under the enemy guns and just refuses to withdraw. There's all sorts of madness like that occasionally. But this looks like... Oh, Holmes Brigade is running into trouble over here. Oh, it's done. It's done. Awesome. What a huge fight. We were actually very evenly matched. So in total, we lost 3,183 men. Enemy 4,200. But they lost a lot of their guns. Due to his battle honours, Colonel Walton has become famous and an inspiration for his men. Due to his bad performance, Colonel Elsie has fallen to disgrace. This can happen to you guys too. This can happen to you. So make sure you behave yourselves in the battlefield, keep your men in order, and do your duty. Victory at Manassas Junction. The Army of Northeastern Virginia fleeing in panic. That is the enemy, of course. Colonel Elsie loses face. So that was one of the game's pre-built generals, a historical one. General Richardson loses face. We do have a General Richardson. I hope that's not one of mine. So we can have a look through the battle afterwards. If we go in. So the enemy will be fleeing. Our guys will now be in a state of probably disorganization after that. But we can see, we're not fully formed up. We're still waiting for more stuff to arrive. So under Pendleton, so look at the commanders if we can. Captain A. Brennan. Oh no! No, Captain Brennan. One of you guys, the artillery officer, he's been wounded in action. Don't worry, that he will return to duty later. But it does mean that we need to replace him. So let me see if we've got some suitable artillery guys to go in here. And I don't think we'll have... We can put lieutenant colonels and majors and stuff in. But for a small battery, a captain is fine. If we sort them by alphabetic, I was rather hoping that if there's any of you guys ever back in the list down here, artillerymen will count as captains to start with. But anyway, you did your duty. You fought well. He's not an artilleryman. We do have an artilleryman down here, I'm sure. We should have. I've ticked artillery, so it should show me. I mean, volunteers can go. They're all suitable. There we go. We've got a professional artilleryman, Captain Francis T. Nicholas. Assign. I'm glad I came and checked that because I missed the message. Put it on commander. So, Dome Shutton, excellent. You did well. I think we can promote Captain Dome Shutton. We don't need to be for artillery, But that was good. We're going to give you guys a little promotion. 3 men disabled out of 51. Yeah, the casualties move around with the units in this. So they are classed as being in hospital, and you need to develop sort of a hospital train or a medical corps to help. Promotion coming in. So Major Dome Shutton, there we go. Up to the rank of Colonel. I don't think it makes too much difference, but we are promoting you guys. And these will go up. I think when it says green, then I think they can be, they're suitable for this rank and maybe promotion. But anyway, we will go steady with that. Don't think there's any more of you guys in this. There will be some. There's Frangus over there. Colonel Frangus. Excellent experience and an engineer. Now, engineers are cool. They actually give you points to spend on building trenches and breastworks and stuff. Colonel A.T. Thomas. He's an unknown, so I'd say Colonel Thomas is a volunteer, so perhaps needs a bit more experience at this rank before we promote him up to, I guess it would be Brigadier, and then there's like Major General. Yeah, it would maybe be next. And Lilibach, okay, some good work there. So when we need to promote someone or move someone up to Division Command, I will generally go with the highest rated one or the most experienced one. Jimmy Clown Shoes did some good work. No one's embarrassed themselves yet, so that's good. Nicolas Gilles, nice. Stats improving. Colonel Julian, good. Like to see this. I like to see this. This is cool. It sounds like we've got 2 bits of music playing on the top of each other here. So I do love the music of this period. It's one of my favourites of all time. But it doesn't sound so great when it's 2 trying to compete with each other. Any of you guys in there? No, I don't think so. So it's nice to be able to see. Oh, Colonel Yorkie. Yorkie's brigade. Excellent. How did the commander do? Volunteer. I think he did pretty well. So what we need to do... Oh, you've got the Springfield rifled musket. So we will look at weapons. We will look at buying some more in the... We don't want to auto-manage this at all. That would be terrible. But yes, we will buy some more guns. We've fought the first major battle. The Union's on the run. We need to recover our forces. We need to gather our strength, defend Northern Virginia, maybe take the war to the enemy. We need to strike a blow in the west. The war can be lost in the east. Well, it can be won in the east, but it can be lost in the west. Oh, we've spotted a Union force of something in Kentucky. So it looks like the Union have gone in there. Our army at Nashville is not yet gathered. We're still working on that. All right. Okay, folks. Round 1 to us. I guess we'll see where we go next.